So Amy, what does it mean to be a mama bear?
To be a mama bear means that you're future-minded. One of the reasons that I got into apologetics was for a desire to help equip my kids to be able to better defend their faith. When I was a teenager, I actually walked away from the faith for a year, and it was because a girl who claimed to be a Christian, she gave this amazing testimony about how church and Jesus was the most important thing to her, and yet she was the girl and her friends that would make fun of me so badly in school that I didn't even enter the lunchroom for over a year because I didn't want to see them. I knew if I did, they would just belittle me. And I remember listening to her testimony and thinking, if that's what a Christian is like, I don't want to have any part of it. And for a year, I dabbled in Wicca. I was pursuing it. I thought this was going to be true, but God was so faithful. He was just this still, small voice in the back of my head constantly throughout that year saying, you know this isn't true. You know this isn't right. And I'd keep pushing him aside like, no, I know what Christianity is. And after a year, I started looking at my Bible and at my spell books, and I looked at my Bible and I thought, maybe I got this wrong. And I'd fallen victim to some false arguments, even from my friends. And I was thinking, okay, what can I do better as a parent? Once I started having kids, what can I do to help my kids not go through this season of wrestling and dabbling in another faith? And part of it came down to, just the hypocrisy of unbelievers, which Pew Research says is one of the top 4 reasons people walk away from the faith. But also, I had had so many questions as a kid that I didn't get answers to. It was just this constant of, oh, well, maybe go ask somebody else, or I don't know. And when a kid is told, I don't know, especially by their parents, it only takes 2 or 3 times of hearing that before we stop asking. And I didn't want my kids to be in that position. So when I got my degree in theology, I was just waiting for God's direction because I knew I wasn't quite done with school. And we were stationed in Texas, and I just happened to stumble upon an apologetics conference. It was the very first one at my seminary. And I was floored because here was 2 full days of not only every question that I had had, but now there were very intelligent people who had tons of answers and an amazing book table where you could buy further resources. And I was like, wait a second, people have these questions too, and there's answers? Like, this is incredible. And then the professor said, well, actually, we have a degree program opening up in the fall for apologetics. And it was like God hit me on the back of the head, and he was like, this is what you're supposed to do. And so as I started having kids and getting more in study, I'm like, this is what we need to do as parents, is to help train our children, because our children, any believer, they're given spiritual armor, but that armor takes practice to know how to wield it well. And that's what being a mama bear is. It's taking those doubts, taking those questions, taking those challenges for the faith, letting your children see how you wrestle with those questions yourself, and then equipping them to effectively wield the armor of God for when they have those questions, so that way they can build lasting faith.
And you have 4 kids.
I do.
Yes. Do you feel like they are your examples, especially with putting into the Mama Bear Apologetics and, especially the future, what's coming up? Do you feel like they're examples for that?
They are fascinating to watch because, I can't say that if you do all of these things with your kids that 100% they're all going to end up as Christians. Everybody's got free will. Everybody can either choose to accept or reject God. And so I don't want parents to come under the false assumption that just because you're teaching apologetics that now all of a sudden you have become the Holy Spirit yourself. But what I have seen with my kids is their ability to critically analyze what they're seeing on TV. Part of Mama Bear is, playing the pause game and saying, okay, if we're watching television or if something comes across the screen and a truth claim is made, we pause it and we say, okay, guys, what did we just see? It's that roar method in play. What did we just see? What's being vilified? What's being celebrated? And we talk through that. And what's amazing with kids is they're sponges. They pick it up. They start doing it on their own. And it was amazing to see just their critical thinking flourish even from a young age. There was, we were watching the live action Cinderella, and Ella, when she was little, she asked her mother, oh, mother, do you believe in fairies? And her mother goes, oh, Ella, I believe in everything. And my middle kid goes, you can't believe in everything. And it was great. And I was like, yes, he's getting it. And that was when he was little, and now they're teenagers. And we're able to, watch some of these political campaigns and the stuff that's coming across the news and, advocates for, women's rights, all of these things. And I'm able to watch them and see the gears turning. And then they're analyzing, okay, wait, what is this actually saying? What are they actually saying about what determines human life, dignity, and seeing them wrestle with it. Now, I will have to say, my boys, they're a little bit like Peter and Paul. Like, we're working on tact with them. They're great at throwing out truth. Tact is something we're working with. But that's great because tact, all of that can be sharpened. Sure. And so it's beautiful to see them wrestle with the faith in ways that that I think are beneficial to every Christian to do.